Pick a card. How are you, main character? Let's find out. Here are your options, and I'll see what you're reading. Hi, pile number one. Welcome to my channel. My name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Today's read is going to be how are you main character? How are you main character? And pile number one, you chose this image on the right hand side of the screen. Lovely image, by the way. And the downloads I got from this one, I mean, I was just riveted. I love that little tape coming out of her mouth, the I am, and then the cut with the sorry. So I definitely feel like you're standing up for what you believe in. You're surprising people by your actions. Some people are perceiving you as being defiant, which is really interesting to me. I feel like this would be people who perceive themselves to have authority over you, that kind of a thing. But your simple and maybe even perhaps quiet non-apologeticness, is that a word? Has people riveted on your energy. They're wondering what is going on with you. For some people, I even hear that they're wanting to say that there are some issues there, like, you know, mental issues, which is totally not true, by the way. Well, you know that. You know you. So, pile number one, how are you main character? I'm going to go ahead and mix the cards. So I'm going to fast forward this for you. Pile one, you have the Seven of Cups, which is interesting because that very card came out in the pre-shuffle. You have the King of Swords. You have the Tower, not surprising. You have the Two of Coins. You have the Page of Coins. And you have the Two of Wands. So pile number one, first of all, this deck is called Lilith in the Time Machine. You can find that on Etsy. No affiliation here. I just like to share whatever in case y'all want to take a look at it. But the first thing that I'm getting right here, how are you main character, is that you have a lot of options. And I feel like people didn't really quite understand how many options you had or how these were viable options. Okay. I also feel like with the snake over here kind of whispering into this girl's ear, I feel like maybe perhaps some people are saying that a snake charmed you, right? So somebody, what they're saying is that somebody's been in your ear to make you kind of this audacious, which is really funny because I don't feel like that is the point of it all. I just feel like you have options and whatnot. And how your main character right here is that you have a lot of options in love. Look at all the hearts coming through here. But of course, because this is a Seven of Cups, it is not all of them are viable. And you know that. But it makes you main character because a lot of people don't even have these options, right? So next we have right here the Two of Wands being featured. And I feel like people have been like patiently waiting. They want to know like what is making you main character right now? Like how are you stepping up and having the audacity to say, I am chop. Basically, I'm not sorry, that kind of a thing. The non-apologetic you, they're curious what made you this way? What made you stand on 10 toes down and that kind of a thing? We have the Page of Cups. They're wanting to know how things are working out. With the Page of Cups, they want to offer you like a small truth, small communication, that kind of a thing. And with the Two of Coins, I feel like people want to come towards you. This main character energy, they're like, well, me too. How do I do that? How are you juggling? I don't get it. How are you speaking your truth? But I also feel like your main character, because you're speaking your truth just a little bit, not a ton. They want to know more. Whatever it is that you're giving to people, if anything, because this girl actually doesn't appear to be speaking those words. She's just artfully doing things, right? Same way of communicating or expressing, but just a different manner. You guys could be artists. You guys could be super creative in the creative field. I don't know, doing even digital art, that kind of a thing. Right here we have the Tower. And I feel like this is kind of rock people's world. And you know what? What was that song? Okay. When I woke up, right before I wanted to do your reading, I kept hearing this old song. And I'm like, Rochelle, don't share because these are old songs. And I was like, Rochelle, you don't even listen to music anymore. Anyways, don't judge me, okay? That's the conversation in my brain. Now, with this tarot card right here, it just really reinforces your main character. Pile number 1, I kept hearing in my head, I feel the earth move under my feet. And I'm like, why are we talking about this? And by the way, I live in California, so we ain't trying to have no earthquakes. But I definitely feel like you have kind of rocked the boat, rocked people's world in some way, shape, and form. And whenever you're, you see the tower, that tells us, of course, and you guys probably know this, that we built on faulty ground. So I feel like a little bit this is the energy, almost like a dream castle, that kind of a thing. So I feel like it's this castle, this tower has like launched into the stratosphere and it's nowhere to be found. It's even just, instead of crumbling, it's like, we don't even want the rubble. We don't want the remnants. We don't want any part of it, the roots, any debris, nothing. We're not gonna, be, is it eco-friendly? We're not going to be green and go ahead and try to repurpose all of these things from this tower. We want that tower completely obliterated, gone from this hemisphere. And I feel like that's how people are looking at you. Why am I talking about that when your reading is about how you main character? Because it's relevant. That's how people are seeing you, as being relevant and main character. Now, pile number 1, there could be something about your level of communication. I feel like maybe you didn't even really express, because she's really quiet right here with all of her options. You didn't express a lot of things, but I feel like something about your throat chakra could be really, I don't want to say activated, but yeah, activated. You could have a tie to pile number 2, because that picture, I could not get that picture out of my mind. I kept changing it. I'm like, no, we're not doing this. And here we are doing it. So you could have something to do with a lot of communication, but I feel like your communication has been very direct, very honest, very methodical. Like, I've thought about this, that, and the other. And you have simply executed what it is that you are thinking or how you're feeling or whatever. But you're more on the logical side, okay? So I feel like your main character, because you proceeded in a very, maybe what people think of as like the chaotic reading, right? I started here, went here, and then kind of went all kind of backwards. And maybe perhaps people are looking at you that way. It's like your communication style is just a little bit kind of weird or whatever. Well, let me tell you, pile number 1, they're getting the point. I also feel like, I don't know why this is coming through. I usually don't do angel communication, things like that. But I feel like spirits and guides, are really cheering you on from the other side. So I feel like this halo is right here. And maybe perhaps you're not really quite seeing or understanding that, but you are definitely main character, because you can handle a lot of different situations, and you handle them with, with a lot of skill, with mastery is what I'm really feeling. So pile number 1, this one flipped over for you. So we have the devil: tendencies, impulsive, addictions, naughty by nature. That sounds like a song. So yeah, we have devil energy. We have like obsession. If you've been watching my channel at all, y'all know I struggle with obsession too, so I can relate to that. And a lot of obsessions I'm not condoning, by the way. I'm just saying this is my life, and if you relate, cool, and if not, that's okay too. But I'm just going to say right here, like, her hands are like right towards your stomach. So you could be really obsessively like creating. With the red, I feel root chakras, really getting established, really getting grounded. But people could see you with the red eyes is like having that devil energy. You're too riveted. You're too focused on creating, bringing things forward into this realm, into this world, right? Pile number 1, we have train ride, been around. Whoa, meow. Sexual conquest, runaway lover, wham bam, thank you ma'am, likes to smash. And by the way, these cards are graffiti, vibe about it, on Etsy as well. So somebody could be luring up, or you could be luring up as well. That was really hard to say. So pile number 1, refusing to answer questions, defensive and protective. And maybe perhaps people are seeing that as your energy right now. Well, I wonder why that would have to be your energy, pile number 1. Even the image that you originally chose, right, where she is chopping that tape, where it says, I am and she's chopping the sari off. You know, I feel like you're finally coming in to your own. And this is what is the gossip around you. This is what's making you a main character. And pile number one, this is what has people shook about you. So let me just get a couple more. You could be restoring balance in your life. And I feel like with that balance is coming harmony, and people are not liking that, right? So something about your main character energy that is rubbing people the wrong way. Let's not kid ourselves here. This is what I'm getting. Now, I don't feel like this is for everyone, right? Like, not everybody is kind of, some people are actually really inspired by you. They see that you've been able to flip the script. They've seen, what is this? They have seen that you maybe have a dream, and look at her vocal cords right here being highlighted as well. So I feel like, yeah, you could be some form of like communicator, you could be a translator, but the Two of Wands, this is like anticipating and making choices. Okay, this is like, I have this choice, or that, do I pick door one or door two? And I do feel like this is inspiring for quite a lot of people, but some people are a little bit shook and not even a little bit pleased by this main character thing. And you know, that's not your problem. So we're going to get two more cards for you. Secret life. Living a double life, withholding secrets, safeguarding, keeping things hidden. So yeah, you've been a lot more private lately, and that is why you are main character. Now, it's interesting because last night I was talking to my girlfriend, and she's talking about how she wants to put like things on her property, you know, and it's pretty cool because they're eclectic. They're really, you know, different. My friends are, and she's talking about that I want to put up these archways, and you know, vines can grow, and some people make them out of trampolines, and I'm like, cool. And I'm like, so you want to, you know, put forward a portal here? And she's like, no, I just kind of want to do an archway. And we kept talking, and I'm like, so you want to put through a portal? She's like, yeah, I want a portal. So it could be that people are thinking that you somehow teleported, that you walked through a portal, that you somehow made things for yourself in such a manner that you have grown up, that you have showed up for yourself. And really, pile number one, you have to show up for yourself, because in the end, I will tell you, and you guys know this, you don't need me to tell you, some stranger on YouTube, right? But I will tell you that people pick them 100% of the time. That if you are somebody who is like giving by nature and trying to really appease other people and do what they want and, you know, be nice and be friends, people will never return that favor. I don't want to say never, but I just said it. So here we go. How are you main character? Isolation, remote and alone, deserted, feeling rejected, intense sadness. So I feel like people could be feeling that about you, but maybe you did isolate yourself and you took a train ride. I gotta laugh at the likes to smash. I didn't even address that. Should we? Probably not. Pile number one, if you're liking these kind of readings, do give me a like, share, comment, smash that button, wink, wink. Sorry, I had to. So pile number one, entanglements, third party, outsiders, messy, busybodies, and web of lives. Yeah, you could have a lot of gossip surrounding you, people like talking about your glow up, your come up, your main characterness. Not even a word, but there we have it. I think anyways. So I really like this energy for you, and then numbing and detached, not wanting to feel pain. So some people could really be running for the hills because of this. It has done shook their foundation. I feel like the earth is it roiling? Is that a real word? Anyways, the earth is moving under their feet, literally. And I feel like they're numbing out. So these people could be having substance abuse issues and whatnot. But once again, this is not your choice. This is you know, we choose how we act and we choose how we react. So with balancing of the scales, what are all these flowers? How wild. Caught in the act, self-incriminating offenses. Interesting. I feel like maybe because this hand even appears dead, like severed. So you could have been recently someone who severed things that was just not good for you. And that is kind of backed up with the idea that the Tower card is something that needed to fall to begin with, right? So good for you for being main character in your own life, because I mean, you know, you're not going to be main character in anybody else's life before you are your own. So I applaud you. I am grateful for you. Thank you again for being here. And yeah, that's all I have to say for now. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste. Hi, Pal 2. My name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pal number 2, how are you main character? You chose this lovely image on the right-hand side of your screen. Now, let me tell you, I kept changing that image, okay? With the neck tattoo, I was like, all right, this is kind of more on the sensual side. Too much, not really what I'm going for, but I kept coming back to it. So here we are, you and I, Pal number 2. How are you main character? The downloads I got was sensual. You are definitely feeling yourself, as you should. Your throat chakra could be activated. It could be decorated. I heard it could be inflammatory. It is highly unexpected, but it's also incredibly attractive. It's very daring. I feel like basically what I'm saying is that your words, whatever it is that you are speaking into the world, are really astounding on many different ways, on many different levels, because I feel like on the one hand, you're creating a lot of manifestations for yourself. I feel like you're speaking abundance into other people's lives as well, but also you're speaking truth and a little bit like shocking, right? At least in my circle, I think throat chakras are not the norm necessarily. But I love them, okay? If you see me walking around with a big old throat chakra tattoo, that kind of a thing, what I meant was a throat chakra tattoo, mind your business. Because I love them. I think they're really cool, but that's just a me thing. So Pal number 3, I feel like you could be somebody who is also just definitely embracing your freedom of speech, saying what it is that you need to say, and also making an impact on the world. I feel like people have taken a little bit of fear or given into a little bit of fear because they don't really know. Like, you used to control yourself as far as like what you would say, but now they're not really sure what you're going to speak on, and this makes people nervous. Well, why would that be, Pal number 2? I mean, if you're on the up and up with people and doing right, why would you be afraid of what other people have to say, you know? That's just my perspective. So people are being drawn in. You have this like gravitas, this magnetic aura about you. That's, I feel like this, I'm gonna look at the camera, friends. You're just circling around and it's getting tighter and tighter right around you, this like energy field, this force field. And I feel like your throat chakra is very concentrated, is very potent right now. And I just mean that you are really making a difference in how you are speaking into people's lives, okay? So Pal number 2, how are you main character? We're going to go ahead and pull cards for you from Lilith and the Time Machine, if y'all are interested. So I'm going to go ahead and pull cards on camera, but I'm going to... Right. Pile number 2. You have the 2 of Swords.
I'm going to speed it up for you, sure.
You have Temperance. You have the 2 of Wands. I knew there was a connection from pile number 1 and 2. You have the 2 of Cups. And you have the King of Cups. Pile number 2, let's talk about it. Uh-oh, we have one more. Last but not least, the Page of Wands. Beautiful. So first of all, pile number 2, you can't ignore the fact we've got 2, 2, 2. So you could be somebody who is really seeing repetition in numbers, 2, 2, 2s, 1, 1, 1, or 11, 11, 44, things like that, or even 33. Or 3, 3, 3. So you could be seeing a lot of numbers that are repetitious, trying to get your attention. I do feel like this alludes to like another spiritual awakening. I feel like you guys on this channel are more than likely people that have been involved in spiritual community for some time. I don't feel like a lot of newbies here. I could be wrong. This is a new channel. And by the way, thank you so much for just joining or stopping by, subscribing, commenting, all the things. Thank you so much. But I'm going to say, pile number 2, that the number 2 is very powerful. To me, it stands a lot about balance, and it's about reciprocal, even though I have the 2 swords right here. For me, the number 2 is about stepping into this world and being a part of that world as well, right? or being a part of this world, stepping into that world. So it's a balancing and a juggling act between like the ethers and the 3D, body, mind, spirit, all of those things. So when I pulled the Temperance card, pile number 2, her main character, is that not only are you balanced, not only are you healing, we're always on a healing journey, right? Even if we don't call it that, I don't feel like, oh, we've healed from this and then we're moving on. No, that's going to come up again. And it's like another, onion covering. You're going to be able to pull layers off of that one too, whenever it comes up, according to whatever spirit thinks you need at the time. Now, with this healing that you've had, that you've achieved, I feel like it's given you wings. I love raven wings, black wings, any of the birds, the sparrows, all of them. I love them all. And I feel like this has really given you a lot of balance. It's given you a lot of empathy, but I feel like you're not necessarily speaking a lot about your personal hearing. Maybe you had a hearing, I don't know, healing, okay? So I'm not entirely sure if you're speaking directly about your personal healing, but I do feel like whatever it is, people are seeing the produce. People are really feeling the fruits of your healing. Okay, so your main character, because you are speaking a lot of truth and wisdom into other people's lives, and people wonder, how is it that you've healed? How is it that you've glowed up? How is it that you've shown up for yourself? That kind of a thing. How is it that you have a lot of answers from the spirit realm, and you are grounded and in touch with your emotions as well? So we're very curious about you. Pile number 2. With the 2 of Swords right here, definitely feel that you could be when you call that. This card just deserves some limelight right here. You're a main character because I feel like you have endured a lot. You have processed a lot. Probably have not had a lot of help, if any, from outside sources, including like friends, family, and whatnot. You could have had like little bits, slivers and pieces, right? Slivers with the moon right here, of people maybe inputting, but it seemed like there was not a lot of help, not a helping hand. They're like, here, I'll lend you a pinky finger. I don't know where that came from. And then I'm hearing, I swear. Okay, so you guys could have just finished watching that Netflix show with the, I'm going to say their name wrong, but the Menendez brothers, I forget how to say it. But I always want to call them Mendez, and that's not how you say it. But anyways, yeah, it's about the 2 guys that unalived their parents. And the song with Milli Vanilli coming in at the end has been in my brain for days. But I keep looking at this and I'm hearing, I swear. So I feel like people are not really able to understand or see what it is that you've been separated from, or how it is that you've achieved this level of healing. And it's very main character of you, because I feel like you did a lot of healing yourself. I feel like you're like, okay, my ancestors did it. Well, I got to figure it out. I've taped, a little bit of therapy, a little bit of this advice, a little bit of that. I've gone within. I've really done a lot of work on myself, and people really want to know more about that. They'd like to hear you speaking more about that for sure. Now, pile number 2, I feel like your main character as well, because for some reason I have right here, like your solar plexus. This is your self-confidence, and I feel like you're returning to you, if that makes sense. Whereas I feel like maybe some of you guys were a little bit fragmented. You could have felt like you had multiple personalities, or you could have felt like you were different people that, according to your audience, like whoever's in front of you, you're going to act that way. You're a changeling, if you will, right? And I feel like you've like integrated all of those parts, and you're like, you know what? I'm not changing for anybody. And maybe some of you guys did this a long time ago, or maybe it was never an issue for some of you. Keep in mind that these are general readings. If you would like a private reading, that would be in the Etsy store, and I have that in my description box below as well. But pile number 2, people are definitely shook by your confidence. Okay, so that's what makes you main character, is how you've been able to turn that. I don't feel like it's always been that way, but that is really being featured right here, and I feel like it's taking off. It's helping you take off as well. With the 2 of Wands right here, this is anticipating, right? This is looking, what are my options? What am I anticipating? What are my choices? And again, the solar plexus being highlighted right here. So I feel like this is taking you places. Maybe even perhaps this has helped you travel some way, somehow, that you've developed a bigger self-esteem, a better sense of self, that kind of a thing that's not dependent or interdependent on other people. I feel like pile number 2, you've discovered or rediscovered or become aware that, you have to like you more than anyone else. And why wouldn't you, right? And it's really interesting, pile number 2, because I feel like people around you, I feel like a lot of narcissistic energy, I'm not going to lie, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, but it can be. And we all have that to some degree. But I'm just here to say, pile number 2, that I feel like people around you have very, sometimes even off-kilter, high self-esteems, right? But they're looking at you like, hey, can you reduce yourself? Don't be so big, like, because you're overshadowing me, that kind of a thing. And they were fine when, you know, you were little, or a fragment of yourself, a sliver, if you will, of yourself. But now that you are main character, I feel like people are having a problem with that. I am also feeling, pile number 2, a lot of gossip around you. And, you know, we pay that no mind. It is what it is. And, you know, people that don't have a lot going on talk about people. People that have ideas and talk about the big picture have things going on. So that's what I would get from that. But also, pile number 2, I feel like you are gravitating and pulling into your gravitational pull or your stratosphere, that kind of a thing. The 2 of Cups, people that really resonate with you. I feel like people that vibe with you, people that get you, and it's in its purest form. I don't feel like these people are wanting anything from you. And I feel also, pile number 2, based on the image that you chose, right, that got us to this reading to begin with, the lady with the throat chakra tattoo, I feel like your truth is really inspiring a lot of people around. It is pushing people away in fear as well. And you have a grand separation. People that are really diverse and have a great opinion of you and a not so great opinion of you. And you know what? That's all entirely up to them. We're not necessarily focused on that. But I feel like you're bringing kinship. You're bringing balance. You are bringing people that really vibrate on a similar level to you. But yes, we're also repelling and, quote, losing people that don't vibrate with our frequency as well. And it just is. That's part of our journey. So pile number 2, we have the King of Cups. Also, if you're liking this kind of reading, do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you're thinking about these things. And if you relate, that would be awesome. The King of Cups right here, this is somebody who has undergone I feel like their journey, and it's more on an emotional level. So you have grown up, glowed up. I feel like you have mastered a lot of your emotional energy. Maybe you could be somebody like one of the water signs, or water could be really featured in your chart, right? But this king has been through the phase of, I'm in love with love, I'm in love with you, oh, look, shiny over there, that kind of a thing. And they've experienced like all the hardships that they put themselves through, because they're like, ooh, shiny, and the way that they've hurt other people. I feel like you've really been able to kind of grow beyond that, and now you're balanced. And now you're somebody who really kind of keeps your emotions in check. I'm going to say that, okay? Not that you don't have them, but they're not quite as visible to other people. You could be somebody, pile number 2, that has incredibly like clear eyes, or different colored eyes, or something about your eyes is just really magnetic, okay? With the crown right here being highlighted, I definitely feel like your crown chakra could be popping right now. You could be getting a lot of downloads and messages from spirit, right? And this is what makes you main characters. People want to be in the know as well. They want to know what you know, by the way. Pile number 2, we have the Page of Wands right here. And how you main character with the Page of Wands is that you are fiery. And once again, leading up to the throat chakra, you are speaking your fire, your passion, your desires. You're expressing yourself, right? But when it comes to more intimate things, you're keeping those cards close to your chest. So I feel like a little bit people are puzzled by your energy, but it's like, maybe perhaps you're like me, or once upon a time, it's like all or nothing, right? And I feel like I've learned some form of moderation. Yeah, but here we are. Pile number 2, let's get a little bit more energy. We're going to be using this beautiful deck that I, in fact, kind of ruined. Not kind of, but I did ruin. Don't put your water next to these cards, guys. You'll regret it. So sad. But pile number 2, how are you main character? And these are really hard to shuffle if you can't tell. So we're just going to do what we can. You have divine calling, higher purpose, and destiny fulfilled. Yeah, if you had any doubts, if you were on the right path, I feel like the clouds are clearing. Things are becoming more and more apparent. The more you speak your truth, the more in your truth you stay, the more things get revealed that this is the way. Okay, pile number 2. How are you main character? You have mansplain. So maybe you could be a little bit condescending. I don't know. I know it can come across like that sometimes. That is not my heart. But patronizing explanation. So that could be a thing. Or people could just feel maybe that I feel like people want to take you down a peg. That's what it is. I feel like you have people that want to compete around you. And this doesn't even directly correlate with those people, which is really interesting. They just get triggered by your level of security and by the way that you speak. And also, pile number 2, I'm going to say that people get triggered by your audience. The fact that you have an audience. They're like, what the heck? Me too. Well, they haven't earned their stripes. They haven't put themselves through the paces. And I feel like pile number 2, you've earned yours legitimately through doing a lot of shadow work. So how you main character, excuse me, secret stash, stockpiling away, keep secrets, and keeping things hidden. Yeah. You're playing your cards close to your chest. You're not sharing with every Tom, Dick, and Harry because there's no need, that kind of a thing. And the last 2 cards here, pile number 2, living rent-free. You definitely live rent-free in other people's minds. Let me tell you, if you had any doubts, well, wipe those away. Pile number 2, you are definitely in the right trajectory. And I definitely feel like you have a higher calling. You have a great connection to the moon phases. You want to explore that a little bit more. People cannot get you out of their minds. They're also some kind of a, I don't know, divine inspiration with art as well. That aspect of you is really shining and wanting to come through. And then longing, missing someone and wanting you back. So people that could have fumbled you are feeling the loss. They're feeling like they're missing you, that kind of a thing. But they're in denial because they keep hearing, I ain't missing you at all since you've been gone away. So that's what I have, friends. Pile number 2, much, much love to you. Thank you so much. Until next time, namaste. Hi, pile 3. My name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot, and I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 3, you chose this lovely image on the right-hand side of the screen. How are you, main character? Well, let's talk about it. Pile number 3. You have been focused on the apple, right? You chose this image with a girl holding the apple. And I feel like maybe perhaps you've been focused on a quote, forbidden fruit. What exactly is forbidden fruit? 9 times out of 10, that's going to be just a matter of opinion, right? But I feel like maybe perhaps you're focused on something that other people feel like is forbidden. It's like, oh, you're not supposed to be doing that. Or that's not, I don't know, legal, or I don't know. I don't feel like you're like breaking laws, but maybe. Now, I definitely feel like you are rocking things in people's world because what they're concerned about seems to be a little bit trivial, seems to be of no consequence, really. And I feel like they have a view. I got to say this. Pile number 3, I definitely feel like you could be my conspiracy pile, okay? I feel like you're maybe reevaluating, causing other people around you to really re-examine, hey, is this really necessary? We've been told in society this is what needs to be done. Is this really a thing, or have we just been conditioned? So you get people's wheels turning, and we're going to see a little bit more about that. I'm going to go ahead and mix the cards in 3, 2, 1. All right. Pile number 3, what do we have for thee? How are you, main character? You have the 6 of Cups. You have the 7 of Cups. You have the 10 of Cups. What? You have Strength. You have the 8 of Cups. And pile number 3, you have the Knight of Wands. Wild. So how are you, main character? Pile number 3. With the 6 of Cups being featured right here, I definitely feel like people from your past are looking at you with longing, with nostalgia. There's a lot of flowers right here. I feel like they're on the top of their minds. Memories with you. It's incredibly beautiful. It's precious. I feel like your recent glow up, those of you guys that know what I'm talking about, you've definitely had a recent glow up, even if you're not seeing, I'm hearing the fruits of that just yet. Other people see the value in the fruits of it, okay? I just want to put that out there. Pile number 3, what we have for these is that people think of you and all the fun memories they have with you, but also a little bit of la fantasy land, okay, about the past as well. So they could romanticize things and so on and so forth. A lot of flowers here indicating beauty, but this is like people that you used to live with, go to school with, that you grew up with, people from the country or city that you are from, that kind of a thing, school, college. Then we have the 7 of Cups right here. This was featured in another reading, this very sequence of readings anyways. So 7 of Cups right here indicates a lot of options and choices, and you are a main character because I feel like you're choosing love. You're choosing love. I feel like this is being differently aspected from the reading we did a little bit ago. I think it was in pile number 1, but I can't be too sure. I feel like you are focused on love, and I don't necessarily mean like romantic love. It could be, but I definitely feel like platonic, like love for humanity, that kind of a thing. Love of self is being featured here as well. And I think that that's how you are main character, is that in spite of what people are saying, there's a little element of like naughtiness with you. I'm not going to lie. With the lady, the image that you chose of her holding the apple and how you are riveted on the forbidden, right? And I'm thinking about Snow White and how she was gifted from her stepmother this apple. She bit into it and then she, you know, well, you know the rest. It was a poisonous apple. So I'm going to say right here that you have a lot of options and choices, but people are riveted on you and they think that you're main character because you are in the end choosing love. You're not in fear mode any longer. You are out there being your genuine 1000% self. I feel like you are speaking your truth. You are shedding skins, things that no longer become you. If you were one way, I feel like you're trying out different modalities and the shoe is fitting, similar to Cinderella. Pile number 3, you could be also the pile that really enjoys fairy tales, because I'm not necessarily like a fairy tale kind of a person, yet here we are talking about them. Pile number 3, I'm feeling like you have, with these options, you like really deduced what is good for you and what is plausible, and you hone those skills and you are running with it. And people see you changing a lot, but now you are in your own skin. I feel like you are feeling comfortable. And with that, right, when we think, well, I love myself, or if I were to say that out loud to anybody, they would be like, oh my gosh, you're so full of yourself, that kind of a thing. But it's like, look, if I can't take care of me or respect me, everybody else would run all over me, right? That kind of a thing. So I feel like you've learned a lot of lessons from the past, that, you know, things cannot stay status quo, that they have to continue evolving and changing. And you are a creature, a person, a human being, not a human doing, that deserves love no matter what. So I feel like you've turned that inward in order for you to really give that outward as well, right? I feel like there was a time in your life, pile number 3, that you were just giving all of that love to the external world, and you within felt yourself wilting and it was not healthy. So here we are, pile number 3. How your main character is, I feel like that you're embracing, and maybe you're attaining that castle in the sky, that dream. You have that magnetism. I feel like people see around you like the rainbow, right? The that pot at the end of the rainbow. But not only that, you can get 2 pots. I mean, maybe you're, you know, into the devil's lettuce and that kind of a thing. You got to put that out there as well. But I feel like the clouds are parting. I feel like people are starting to see what you are building for yourself. I feel like there's an energy of like support, a support system, or something that's different, like of unity, of cohesiveness. This could be a business. This could be your family life coming together, your friends, things like that. Or different little pieces and elements, all of it together to build up not only like a castle in the sky for you, but something very tangible and very real, and constructed out of your own manifestation. I think that's beautiful for you. Pile number 3, I feel like you're definitely main character because you are serving to inspire others. But I also feel like, my voice is awful, so sorry. I also feel like you, pile number 3, are changing up how you speak, changing up how you think. I feel like you're maybe sharing with people how it is that you've undergone these transformations. I feel like also that you have undergone a lot of dark night of the soul, a lot of self-reflection, and a lot of inner work, shadow work is coming through a lot. And this is serving to make you incredibly powerful and magnetic. And that's how you're being main character. I feel like it's making you a lot more desirable. Not that you weren't before. I feel like you're encompassing your energy a lot more instead of diffusing it and giving it away to other people. That's the main thing that I'm getting. Also, I feel like with you embracing kind of your Lilith energy, like I want equality, or I want, I'm important too. And why is it bad when I say that I'm going to have a self-care day and I'm going to go take myself out to dinner, or I'm going to go take myself out, see a movie, that kind of a thing. People feel like those ideas are so foreign. And let me tell you, you are main character because I feel like you're shaking up the status quo when it needed to be shook a long time ago. And that's why people are so receptive and magnetically drawn. Now, pile number 3, with that being said, I'm going to say that you also have magnetically drawn haters, right? And if we're doing something right, it's just going to be, people are not going to like the fact that you're standing in your own power, that you're confident, then you're not looking at them for kudos or approval. And that seems to be like an affront or an insult to other people. And we're not really concerned with that. But pile number 3, how are you main character? Is that not only are you taking the forbidden fruit, but you're proving that it is not forbidden. That is a big fat lie, in other words. But you are turning that around, and you are main character because you are walking away from things that no longer serve you. Narratives, belief systems, things like that. Even fairy tales that are in the 3D right now, right? I want to think socially, and I'm not here to talk about that because I get in trouble for it. But I am going to say that with the 8 of Cups, you walked away from a lot of things that you have like poured into body, mind, heart, and soul. You've poured into 8 cups and you've measured them, and you're like a mixologist. And let me, what do they need? This one needs that. And I'm going to do everything I can. But you're in search of your 9th cup. This is emotional fulfillment. This is a wish, right? And you haven't gotten your wish. Extending yourself, overextending yourselves, over giving, that kind of a thing, being so outwardly focused. And I feel like you're main character right now because you have left those ideas and ideals, right? Not that we're selfish necessarily, but we're taking care of us first before we can give to other people. That is the whole point. And pile number 3, make no mistake that all the people that consider themselves, air quotes, comfortable in life, take care of their own needs before they look and extend a hand to anyone else. That's how we bring people up, right? So pile number 3, I just want to challenge that level of thinking a little bit. I feel like you understand that. If anybody does, that's why you're here in pile number 3. Also, I feel like this talks about your wealth. This talks about hope that you're extending to other people. I feel like with you, I'm hearing proof is in the pudding. That is really old school, but here we are. You and I, pile number 3. You walked away from things and it was painful, but it's working for you. I just saw the number 1111 on camera right now. We have the Knight of Wands right here, and all of a sudden I'm looking at this beautiful image, right? This card. I don't know if I mentioned this deck is Lilith and the Time Machine. You can find that on Etsy. She had 2 decks left. I bought one, and I don't know if there's one left, but we'll see. So pile number 3, I'm looking at this. Let's get closer. Let's get closer, friends. right on his forehead. And I feel like your third eye is highly awakened. It's activated. I feel like people didn't really understand that initially, and people are looking at your outward circumstances or your outward behavior. What they're not really understanding is that your third eye is wide open, that you can read people like nobody's business, that you have become very well aware of what is going on, not only socially in society, with governments, with powers and things like that, but I feel like just even traditional roles and things like that. So I'm gonna say that because your third eye is really wide open, it's really helped you to kind of get rid of things in your life that hasn't been working, and it is inspiring other people. It's inspiring the rest of us. So good for you, pile number 3. And pile number 3, thank you so much for coming to my channel. I would appreciate if you please like, share, comment, subscribe. If this resonates, drop me a line. Let me know how. I always read your comments. Super intriguing. Also, I feel like you could be a little bit like basking in the moon. Moonlight, moon bathing, moon water could be really important for you. You can look up on YouTube how to make that, but I'm guessing you guys already know how. I just feel that from you. So pile number 3, how are you main character is that you have found divine inspiration. I feel like you have found your mojo once again. And I feel like you have come into yourself once more. And it's taken you on a trajectory that is incredibly empowering. I feel like your energy levels are picking up. If they've been down for a long time, which I feel like they have because they've been dispersed, what you didn't know is that that energy you were giving to everybody else, and you actually needed it for yourself. And now you're in a place of power where you can actually lend hands, lend a leg up, you can extend your warmth to other people, and so on and so forth. But you're going to scrutinize that as well. I feel like pile number 3, you're incredibly, not only just magnetic, your main character, but you're very, very sexy people. Look at you and think that pile number 3 has got some sex appeal. You are, what? Main character, because you might be a smooth talker. Are we a smooth talker? Maybe you are. Maybe, perhaps, pretty sexy right here. Maybe perhaps you are very well manicured or well tailored. I feel like maybe perhaps you're somebody who likes to dress. I don't think even in fads or anything like that. You could be very old school. I mean, this outfit isn't necessarily in the area that I'm from, but if you were to wear it, let me tell you, I would not be able to get my eyes off you. That's all I'm saying. Pile number 3, what do I have for thee? How are you main character? Hot and cold, because you're hot and you're cold. Yes, then you're no. You keep people guessing. Extreme intensity, roller coaster ride of emotions. But I feel like finally, it is not your roller coaster of emotions, right? You've achieved stability. And I feel like a form of happiness and a sense of balance. Other people are kind of roller coastering because you've changed your MO. Yeah. Copying. Unoriginal and super basic. So pile number 3, again, like we mentioned, you know, we're going to have haters and things like that, but those haters are copying you, which is really funny because I feel like they want to even embody like the words that you speak, how you act, your poise, inflections, your manner of dressing, maybe even the way that you speak, that kind of a thing. But they're just copycats, and that's okay. It's the biggest form of flattery. Look at how I ruin these. Pile number 3, what do we have for thee? Living rent-free. Once again, this came out in another reading. You are a main character, and you're living rent-free in other people's minds. Make no mistake about it. I feel like when people see you now, they're like, well, I always saw that in pile number 3. Well, did they? Did they really? We don't know. Pile number 3, resignation. Giving up, resigning, new path, throwing in the towel, and quitting. I feel like you have freed yourself from a lot. Maybe you've, you know, ditched jobs or did the silent quitting or whatever, but that doesn't appear very silent right here. I feel like you have just kind of done your own thing, and it has really freed you from tasks and duties and obligations that were not for you. Because number 1, they weren't for your path. They weren't on your path. I feel like you were trying to hammer into a path that really wasn't yours, if that makes sense. And now with you staring at the apple, with doing the forbidden, gasp, taking care of yourself, gasp, going after your dreams, gasp, looking after what it is that you want, right, in life, in your trajectory, and breaking the rules. Maybe people in your family thought, you know, this person, you need to be a doctor, you need to be married within your culture, or whatever. And you rebel, and here we are, you and I once again. And then parental issues. So pile number 3, how are you main character, is that maybe perhaps you're bringing to the forefront these issues, maybe these parental issues that have really kind of bogged you down. I feel like this person wants you to stay little, that kind of a thing. Controllable is what I'm hearing, actually. Yeah, here we go. So pile number 3, what I have for thee, and I apologize for making this a little bit longer than usual, we have pseudo-influencer, fake accounts, fake followers, fake it till you make it. So how are you main character is that people see that you are an influencer. You don't have to have like social media. I'm just talking old school. You could be influencing people. How? By remaining and retaining your energy, by saying no. How? By getting rid of things that are no longer serving you. How? By quitting things that are not good for you, by standing up, speaking out, embracing beauty, embracing change, embracing your style. If nobody else wears things like that and you like it, hell yeah, you're gonna wear it. Pile number 3, I love this for you. I feel like a lot of love around you. People look at you with a lot of fondness, a lot more than you would think, a lot more than you're aware of, I should say. So that's what I have for you. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste.